Welcome to our defense briefing show, folks. Today, we've got some intriguing stories to share. First up, Admiral Alvin Holsey, who's been overseeing U.S. military strikes off Venezuela, is stepping down early, 2 years ahead of schedule. This move comes amid rising tensions in the region, with ongoing strikes and covert ops against Venezuela, signaling a possible shift in U.S. military strategy. Next, President Donald Trump has unveiled a bold new idea, building a Paris-style arch near the Lincoln Memorial, inspired by the Arc de Triomphe. This monument aims to leave a lasting mark on Washington, D.C., complete with a Lady Liberty statue on top. Plus, Trump is planning a new White House ballroom, partly funded by wealthy donors, showing his flair for grand projects. Finally, diplomatic efforts heat up as Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin are set to meet in Budapest to discuss ending the Ukraine war. Following a productive phone call, the upcoming summit could shape the future of the conflict. Meanwhile, Zelenskyy plans to visit Washington to seek more military aid, including long-range missiles, as tensions continue to escalate. Please continue to stay tuned for more detailed insights. South China Morning Post reports a dramatic shift in the U.S. military's leadership in Latin America, as Admiral Alvin Holsey, who has been at the helm overseeing operations of Venezuela, announces his early retirement, 2 years ahead of schedule. This decision comes amid heightened tensions and a significant U.S. military presence in the Caribbean, including advanced warships, fighter aircraft, and thousands of troops, as the Trump administration escalates its stance against Venezuela. The context is further complicated by controversial U.S. military strikes against suspected drug boats, which have resulted in casualties and stirred legal and political debates about their legality and the broader U.S. strategy, including covert operations authorized by President Trump to destabilize the Venezuelan regime. Holsey's departure amid the recent ousting of other high-ranking officers like C.Q. Brown and Lisa Franchetti signals a turbulent period for the Pentagon, with concerns growing over the U.S.'s approach to regional conflicts and military leadership stability. Associated Press details President Donald Trump's ambitious plans to leave a lasting mark on Washington through a grand architectural project, a Paris-inspired arch near the Lincoln Memorial. During a White House dinner, Trump revealed his vision of constructing a majestic arch resembling the Arc de Triomphe, a symbol of victory and national pride in France. This project, funded by private donations, aims to complement Trump's ongoing efforts to reshape the city's landscape, including transforming the Rose Garden into a stone-covered patio. The plan reflects Trump's admiration for French culture, inspired by his visit to Paris and the military parade he witnessed there, which influenced his desire to create a monument that would stand as a testament to his presidency. Although details about the project's timeline and approval process remain unclear, Trump showcased models of the arch and hinted that leftover funds from the ballroom project might finance it, emphasizing his desire to leave a distinctive legacy in the nation's capital. The Associated Press reports on a controversial and unconventional political bid by Aaron Spencer, an Arkansas father, accused of killing a man he believed was abusing his daughter. While awaiting trial for the shooting of Michael Fosler, Spencer announced his candidacy for sheriff of Lonoke County, asserting that systemic failures in law enforcement prompted him to take justice into his own hands. A veteran and farmer, Spencer claims he acted lawfully to protect his child after discovering Fosler, a man charged with sexual offenses, in her vehicle. His candidacy, supported by local opinion that the shooting was justified, has sparked debate about justice, vigilantism, and the integrity of law enforcement in rural Arkansas. Spencer's decision to run as a Republican against the incumbent sheriff who arrested him underscores the complex interplay between personal justice and political ambitions, raising questions about how communities respond to perceived failures in the legal system and the potential for such cases to influence local elections. The Associated Press reports that Admiral Alvin Holsey, who has led U.S. Southern Command overseeing military operations against the alleged drug traffickers off Venezuela, is set to retire in December after a distinguished 37-year career. His departure comes amid ongoing controversy over U.S. military strikes in the Caribbean, which have targeted small boats suspected of carrying drugs. The strikes, justified by the Trump administration as necessary military actions against unlawful combatants, have sparked a growing bipartisan concern on Capitol Hill, with some lawmakers questioning the legality and ethics of such operations. Despite the political debate, Holsey expressed pride in his service and confidence in his team's contributions to national security, while the defense secretary publicly thanked him for his unwavering dedication. Yahoo covers a highly charged incident involving a Milwaukee Brewers fan, Shannon Kobylarczyk, who was banned from American Family Field and lost both her jobs after threatening to call IC on a Dodgers fan during a playoff game. The viral video shows Kobylarczyk, dubbed Brewers Karen, shouting racial slurs and making the threatening remark, which led to her ejection and subsequent termination from her employer, Manpower Group, and her resignation from the Milwaukee chapter of Make-A-Wish Foundation. The Dodgers fan, Ricardo Fossado, a U.S. Navy veteran, responded calmly, challenging her threat and emphasizing his veteran status. The incident underscores rising tensions fueled by immigration enforcement debates and the repercussions of online viral moments on personal and professional lives. Finally, Yahoo reflects on the historical importance of AMA, emphasizing how its evolution has impacted disaster response capabilities in the United States. Once established as an independent agency in 1979, FAMA played a crucial role in coordinating federal assistance during major crises like the Mississippi flood of 1927 and the Dust Bowl. However, after the September 11th attacks and subsequent integration into the Department of Homeland Security, FAMA's effectiveness was hampered by bureaucratic hurdles, leadership changes, and a loss of autonomy. The response to Hurricane Katrina in 2005 highlighted these issues, prompting reforms. Today, there are concerns that efforts to dismantle FAMA under the Trump administration could weaken disaster response, especially as climate change increases the frequency and severity of natural disasters. Experts argue that restoring FAMA's independence would enhance its agility and effectiveness, ensuring better preparedness and recovery for future crises. The Sydney Morning Herald reports that a recent phone call between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin has set the stage for a significant summit in Budapest aimed at ending the Ukraine conflict. Trump expressed optimism that recent Middle East peace efforts could positively influence negotiations, and he announced plans for Secretary of State Marco Rubio to meet with Russian officials next week to prepare for the leaders' meeting. The two presidents agreed to meet in Budapest, with Trump emphasizing the progress made during their conversation and hinting at the possibility of bringing the inglorious war to an end. Meanwhile, Ukraine continues to seek long-range missiles like the Tomahawk to bolster its defenses, as Russia intensifies its attacks with drones and missiles, targeting Ukraine's energy infrastructure amid a prolonged winter conflict entering its fourth year. Trump also hinted at pressing India and China to reduce Russian oil imports, signaling a broader effort to impose costs on Russia's ongoing aggression. Nikkei Asia highlights that Trump and Putin's agreement to meet in Budapest followed a lengthy, productive phone call, just as Zelenskyy was preparing to visit the White House to seek increased military support, including long-range missiles. The meeting between the US and Russia is set to follow lower-level discussions next week, although no specific date has been announced. Trump expressed confidence that substantial progress was made during their call, which lasted over 2 hours, and he planned to brief Zelenskyy on the talks. Despite Ukraine's urgent requests for advanced weaponry, such as Tomahawk missiles, the prospects for immediate support remain uncertain, with ongoing Russian missile and drone attacks causing widespread damage to Ukrainian infrastructure. Trump's recent remarks also touched on diplomatic efforts to curb Russian energy exports, with India reportedly considering reducing oil imports from Russia, and the US urging China to follow suit as part of a broader strategy to pressure Moscow and end the conflict. CNN reports that Donald Trump announced on social media that he would meet Vladimir Putin in Budapest to discuss the Ukraine war following a lengthy and very productive phone call. The meeting aims to explore ways to bring the inglorious conflict to a close, with Trump indicating that Secretary of State Marco Rubio will lead a delegation of advisors to meet Russian officials next week. Although the exact location remains undecided, Trump also confirmed that he would meet with Ukrainian President Zelenskyy in the Oval Office to discuss the ongoing crisis and the possibility of providing long-range missiles, such as Tomahawks, to Ukraine. The call between Trump and Putin lasted over 2 hours, and while the details of the upcoming summit remain under wraps, the diplomatic momentum suggests a concerted effort by the US and Russia to negotiate a resolution. Meanwhile, Ukraine continues to face relentless Russian assaults on its infrastructure, prompting Kyiv to escalate its own attacks against Russian targets. Trump's recent comments also included efforts to pressure India and China to reduce their reliance on Russian energy, aiming to tighten economic sanctions and weaken Russia's war effort as the conflict drags into its 4th year. Australian Broadcasting Corporation reports that Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin are set to meet face-to-face in Budapest to discuss ending Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, marking their second summit since Trump's return to the presidency. The first meeting in Alaska last August failed to produce any breakthroughs and was seen as a diplomatic victory for Putin, who continued his aggressive stance against Ukraine afterward. Trump described the upcoming summit as a chance to bring the inglorious war to an end, following a very productive phone call with Putin, and announced that US and Russian high-level officials, including Secretary of State Marco Rubio, would meet beforehand at an undisclosed location. Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy is scheduled to visit the White House for talks with Trump, though no mention was made of a possible meeting between Zelenskyy and Putin. Despite previous plans by Trump to facilitate such discussions, the earlier hope for a trilateral meeting was met with skepticism, as Kremlin statements indicated less commitment, casting doubt on the sincerity of Russia's intentions to negotiate peace. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopsis thoughtfully curated by the 6DO team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6DO Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6DO team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6DO Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dbrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6DO Brief via email.
News breaks, buzz the ground, stories spin, walls come down, voices merge in the sound, faces mix in the crowd. Broadcasters paint the scene, world events on our screen, every link a different theme, words collide in the stream. 6 degrees connect the dots, background stories stories more than us. Hear the voices rise aloud. Truth unveils in every spot. Cultures clash across the globe. Spin the threads in a strobe. Every story wears a robe. Truth and lies in their code. Journalists dig real deep. Secrets out, they don't sleep. Every angle they'll keep. In the news we take a leap. New perspectives day by day. Hidden truths come to play. In the background shades of